Please take your seats. School is now in session.
Welcome to Homeschool Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschool Podcast. It's been a long week. It's great to have you guys back. We know you got a lot of options out there for podcasts, so it means the world to us that you're here. And that's right, us. I officially got a co-host again.
What's up, buddy?
I want to welcome back to the Homeschool Podcast, Kevin Lyons. It's been a while. Kevin has not been gone. If you're not following and watching on YouTube and Instagram, our other podcast, the Movie Stash, you're missing out on some Kevin time. But he's back here, returning as the co-host for this very special holiday episode. So I appreciate the background, Kevin. I like your tree. It looks great.
Yeah, I just put it up.
Awesome. So today, I mean, I would have 100% believe you. It looks great. I'm also sure you didn't do it. Tell your mom, great job.
Yeah, I will.
So we have a great guest today. I had him on the podcast years ago, probably maybe 4-5 years ago, like when it first started, I think for a Christmas episode too, but a lot has changed since then. So I'm going to shoot him a text right now to go ahead and jump on. And so 1 second, I'm going to say
a lot has changed since then. That's right. We can just do it from home whenever we want. Zoom everything.
The last time he was on, we talked about, the classic Christmas movie that he was in as a child. Yes. And there has since been a sequel to this movie it's recently been released. So he said K, so he should jump on any second. So really excited for this guest. I've talked to him on the phone a couple of times in the last month or two, and I honestly haven't seen him in forever. Really cool guy, really nice, down to earth person, gives back a lot. And Zack Ward, actor, director, producer, and you know him from Transformers, a bunch of other stuff that he directed, and he is, of course, Scut Farkis in the classic Christmas tale, A Christmas Story. So any second, Zach, that would have been a time. That would have been time to jump on right there. But anyway,
what Christmas movie have you watched today?
I haven't watched any today. You're on the East Coast, dude. You're 3 hours ahead of me.
I know. It feels like you would watch a Christmas movie on your lunch break at work. That's how Christmassy you are.
No, I don't do that stuff. I am like really more than halfway through my Christmas list. But here he is. Let's let Zach in the room 1 second.
All right.
Letting Zach in. Let's let the Zoom world do its thing while it loads. There he is.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And we can hear him too.
What's up, Zach?
Zach, welcome back to Homeschool Podcast, man. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, I know, bro. It's been ages. How you doing?
Great. I was just telling them that, I've talked to you, I think like a month ago, but besides that, I haven't seen you in forever. And it's really nice to see you, man.
You too, bud. You look great.
You do too. I appreciate it. And I don't know if you're...
I'm on the back deck. Honestly, I totally flaked on this, and I got busy with life shit. I won't bore you with it. And then you texted me, and I was like, oh yeah, that thing I'm doing right now. I ran around in a circle, and now I'm sitting on my back deck. With a light.
I appreciate
it's like last minute Christmas shopping you forgot about.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time. I know it's a busy season in general, especially for you. I know you do a lot of charity work, especially around this time of year.
Yeah, I just got back from Ohio. I was there. I used to do a lot of different charities, bully prevention and stuff like that. And now I do the Alzheimer's Association. 2 years ago, my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I won't make this depressing.
No, it's okay.
If anybody suffers from that or has family go through dementia, it's a ball busting son of a bitch. You know that scene in Saving Private Ryan where the Nazi guy gets the Jewish guy and he slowly sticks a knife in and goes, shh, Jude.
Yeah.
brilliantly terrifying. I'd like to do that to Alzheimer's. I would like to murder it slow and look right in its eyes and tell it to fuck off right when it dies. Right? Like, I want to do that.
It's such a terrible disease, man.
It's a nightmare. So I started working with the Alzheimer's Association last year, and we did. We raised a bunch of money last year at the Christmas Story House with autographs and all that, and we did it again this year. And HBO actually gave us the movie A Christmas Story Christmas to play as another fundraiser at a theater in Akron, Ohio. It was awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that's amazing, man. So my family's going through it right now. My grandmother has Alzheimer's also, and
sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible, and it really sucked during the pandemic where we weren't really allowed to go over and see her. Especially when you're dealing with someone who is elderly, and during those 2 years when we were allowed to go back and see her, it was like a different, it almost seemed overnight. Like before, she at least knew who we were, and now it was like she doesn't know. You have to constantly remind her, like, I'm your grandson, And
Best
I mean, how
podcast ever, right? Like this, everybody wants to listen to this, and that's how I have foot fungus. Anyways,
this is real. By the way, you remember Kevin, right? My co-host. From way back? No? Okay, sorry.
I can see his face. Seems like a very handsome man. He's got a very nicely decorated tree. I apologize for not remembering.
I'm at my parents' house. I'm on vacation.
That's great. Where are you?
Massachusetts, just outside of Boston.
Is it crazy cold?
Oh, it's freezing. I just went on a walk with my my brother and my nieces looking at all the Christmas lights. And it was freezing. I couldn't feel my hands. I didn't bring any gloves.
Gloves make a big difference.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Evan, you look like how a bully in a movie should look like in this movie right now.
That's what we were doing on our stroll.
Haircut.
Beating up some neighborhood kids right down the street,
And by the way, Zach's background is actually kind of perfect for bully Christmas movie. Also, it's got this dark wood. You got this real creepy shadow on your face.
Yeah, but you look like one of the bullies from like a ski school movie.
Oh, Ski Patrol?
Ski Patrol, because you got the frosted tips. It looks like you're gonna swoosh up like, whatever, nerds. Whoever's the first one down Double Diamond Hill, go to the prom. Otherwise, it's swirlies for all of you. Right?
Hey, movie bullies are the best, right?
Right. Yeah,
they're the most remembered. So speaking of which, I've talked to you about it a bunch. I've told you before, one of my favorite holiday classics is A Christmas Story. I grew up watching you, man, when I was a little kid. You and I have talked about it a bunch. So really quickly, I'm not going to take too much of your time. I want to talk to you about A Christmas Story Christmas. Yeah. But just to go, rewind a little bit and talk about A Christmas Story just for a second. Remind me how old you were when you filmed that.
13.
13 years old. So you are a child actor.
Yeah.
And when you're doing this movie, did you think it was going to be as big as it was? You just thought it was like
I had before I did this film, I had Variety all the time as a small child. I would get the weekly varieties and I would look at the box office comparisons and I made graphs and I double checked with all the Nielsen ratings. And I was able to project what this fucking movie would do over 40 years later, you idiot. What are you talking about? People ask me that question because I get asked that question all the time.
Oh, do you really? Okay. Oh, yeah. So what I meant by it,
I know you well enough that I can mock you for because it's one of the insane questions that you kind of like,
right?
No one saw this happening. No one, let's be honest, it's lightning in a bottle. The way that it occurred, the whole thing going from it coming out in theaters, not doing great, not doing badly, re-released a year later, then MGM sells its library to Turner. Turner starts running it on a 24-hour marathon because it's cost them nothing.
Yeah,
and they didn't do advertising on the holidays back then, and it's a great movie. I mean, it
is. Yeah,
same thing happened with The Shawshank Redemption. The same thing happened with Blade Runner. Films that were seen as a critical, not even a critical darling of the time, but films that got so release and died in the box office and then gained huge traction with VHS and cable. There's a few of those situations that occurred. It gave another voice to films that wouldn't get one. Before now, where you have so much fucking content coming out, it's so hard to pay attention to anything. So we were like in this window that was really what, like a 15-year window of technology and entertainment. So what happened is fucking lightning. Like, you can't create that. No studio could sit there and be like, I've got a plan,
right?
And this happened, so no one knew this was going to happen. And yes, I will still mock you, but yeah.
Well, okay. So just to rephrase, so you're a 13-year-old kid and you've worked on other projects before, and this felt like that. This felt like another project. It wasn't a bigger budget than the other ones you worked on.
This was my first movie I'd ever been on. I'd done Yeah, I'd done commercials before this, and I'd been on the sets of movies because my mom's an actress. And because of my mom, I looked at it like, well, this is the job that you do.
It's work.
And yeah, you do your thing and you screw off. And remember, I was not a big role in the film. Like, he's a big character, but you're not working the same amount as Peter Billingsley. So you don't really see the overview of the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
You just do your thing and then leave. So yeah, I just took it in stride because I didn't know any better. Yeah. And then it is what it is, which is amazing.
But you ended up being one of the most memorable characters, quotable. I mean, I mean, Scut Farkis is, I'd say, got to be top 5 list of bullies in a child's movie, maybe top 2 of a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's, Christmas Story is in the Library of Congress as one of the top 100 most important pieces of American cinema in the last 100 years.
Oh wow! When did they enter that?
That was right around 2010.
Okay.
And so it's actually in the Smithsonian Institute, and that means that I am technically a national treasure. So
we gotta steal him. We gotta steal him.
You are.
Call Nick Cage.
Nick comes by my house all the time, going, "You're next."
Yeah. We're gonna steal Zack Ward.
We're gonna steal him.
Let's just all do our worst Nick Cage accent.
Who? What? Where?
Yeah. This is sounding like Keanu Reeves, by the
way. My apologies to Nicolas Cage. He deserves better.
Okay, so now let's talk about A Christmas Story Christmas. So again, 13 years old, child actor. You got this thing. You had no idea that this lightning in a bottle was going to happen. And now, you've had a great career. You've directed a lot of things. You produce a lot of things. You do a lot of charity work. You've taken this character from this classic holiday movie and turned it into helping others a lot, which a lot of people don't do that with their characters. It was amazing you're able to do that. So now, years and years later, you get a phone call that's like, we're going to do the sequel. So how do you feel about that? Were you super excited?
Yeah, absolutely. I was tracking the project earlier, like years earlier, because I wanted to do something that was like Scut Farkis Cobra Kai style. And this was before Cobra Kai came out. Uh-huh. So I actually had this idea for a Scut Farkis series like Cobra Kai, but before there was a Cobra Kai. And I was actually working on it with Jack Kenny, who was a showrunner of Titus. And I was pursuing the rights. And they were actually owned by a guy named Irwin Zwilling, who was the accountant for both Gene Shepard and Bob Clark. And then he ended up getting the rights, but the rights were divided between Warner Brothers and the estates. And part of it was 16 and under. It got very confusing. Anyways, so I had been tracking that, and eventually it went to Legendary. And then I was told that. And then I got on a phone call with a Zoom with the head of physical production over there, Cale Boyder. And he and I were talking, and that was probably 2020, summer of 2020. 2020. And then, so I knew it was in development. I knew that Peter was attached, and then life occurred. And then obviously we're going through COVID, and then I get a phone call that they're moving forward with casting other characters, and the director wanted to meet with me. So I Zoomed with Clay Titus and had a great time. Really sweet guy, very smart. And then that was in November of 2021. And then it started coming together and then went out in February 22. Wow, yeah, it was crazy. And at a certain point in the beginning, they were going to try and replace the other cast. Scotty Schwartz, who plays Flick.
Wow.
Artie Robb, who plays Schwartz. Ian Petrella, who plays Randy. And so they're going to recast those guys, and they even tried, and it didn't work. And if you saw the movie, did you see the film?
Yes, I did. Yes.
So you look at
we
Scotty
both have.
Okay. So you look at Scotty Schwartz in that. He's perfect. Like he's this fat little jersey with the chops. He grew those over his. He looked awesome. He put on like 20 pounds for the role. He looked amazing. He was so him. You know, he might not be Robert De Niro when it comes to the acting chops, but I think he does a clean, honest job as him growing up, because that's what he was like.
I think so.
And no one could carry that off. Like he's 5'4" and 180 fucking pounds, bro. And he's straight out of Jersey, and he's got that whole, come on, forget about it. Hey, don't worry. Fine. Like,
why did they want to recast him? Why did they want to recast everybody?
Just standard studio stuff where they're like, well, we got to, it's a Christmas Story with Ryan Reynolds. That'll sell.
Yeah, right.
Like, did you guys
Jonah Hill?
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys ever see the Christmas Story musical?
I have not.
Okay. So the musical, I saw it in Kansas City before I went to Broadway. It was amazing, fantastic, beautiful, moving, really classy. It starts off with a blank stage with red curtains, and then there's a table there, a desk, and there's a guy sitting at an old style, like 1940s microphone, and he starts talking. And you hear hello, Mr. and Miss America. It's blah, 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 blah. And it's Gene Shepard, the guy imitating Gene Shepard. And Gene Shepard was a radio personality.
Yeah.
And he was talking like, Hammond, Indiana, the winter of 1939. The wind was blowing so hard, the cats were blah, blah, blah. And he's going off the way he talks. And it's beautiful. And the desk is pulled away. The curtains open and the play begins. And it's a musical. And it's fucking great. All right. Just great. And Fox tries to do a live version of this. And they open it up with a Katy Perry song.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what? And like, literally the kid who played me was so ridiculously good looking. He looked like, bro, he had long hair. He looked like Thor. And like, I mean, come on. Did you see me in the movie? I was just a gnarly, weird, toothed-faced little creepy kid. And that's what you're supposed to look like. So they tried to pretty it up way too much, man. What was the question? I'm sorry, I got lost.
No question. Just talking about the.
No, you're talking about the musical. And
and just the way that they. So that's the reason why. Back to the point of them recasting A Christmas Story Christmas. I'm sure it was just the studio going, really? You want to get these guys? A lot of them haven't acted in decades, and so then they tried, and none of them worked. And then they got the original guys, and we all got back together. And honestly, it's like, could a movie be better? Could it be better acted? I guess always. Sometimes that's a real subjective view of it. But there's a thing where all those characters, all those actors, myself included, and Peter, they all feel like they're in the same world. And I think we, the guys, the OG actors, all knew the feeling, the sensation, the taste of the Gene Shepard, Bob Clark movie. It was in our bones long enough that we could settle into that, and that would be the right texture, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're an actor on the outside trying to come in, you're trying to discover what's already been made and fit yourself into that.
Yes.
We are that. So could it be better? I'm sure. I look at my own performances and go, but is it right for the movie? Yeah, I think it really is. I think it original quality. Yeah.
From a fan's point of view, it meant so much more to me that I knew they were all the same. Even if I haven't even seen those guys, and I mean, you could have told me it was them, and I would have believed you. But the fact that I knew it really was them meant so much to me, and I think that it gave it value. I had so much more respect for it that they didn't try to just put somebody else in there because they're more on the scene now.
Right.
And yeah, man, I really, really appreciated it. And I think that this was the best time for it to come out. I think that everything happens for a reason, and this was a great time. So we did have Cobra Kai come out. We did have Stranger Things come out in the last, and an 80s and 70s theme is very popular right now. And I forgot for a second that the original movie takes place in the 30s, 40s, right?
Yeah, 1943.
So this movie picks up in its 1970s.
1973, yeah.
1973. So I'm like, this is the perfect time for this movie to come out. This is what's happening right now. And for everybody who grew up watching A Christmas Story, we are also in this transition of right now of going like, 80s, 70s stuff is really cool again. So it was just, it just really hit home for me. And to speak a little about what you were just talking about, I was going into this thinking it's a sequel.
Right.
Sequels have a stigma of not being great, especially when it's this much time in between. I went into this thinking like, I'm expecting to have like some childhood memories brought up. I think it's cool they did a new one. I don't know if I'll love it. It's going to be cool to see my buddy Zach in it. This is all stuff I was thinking. Now, watching the movie, I was actually like, it's way, way, way better than I expected. Definitely nostalgic feels. I watched it with my wife, and there's times throughout the movie where I'm like, oh, that's that thing from the first one. Little subtle things that if you're a big fan, you're like, oh, it's so cool they put that in. And I mean, when they first show the house, it takes you back. And I'm not going to lie. I did get teary-eyed at the end, almost a couple times throughout, but I definitely shed a couple tears towards the end. And
they knew when to pull the heartstrings, man. They knew when to do that.
They knew how to pull the heartstrings. I do feel like I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I will say the part where you first make an appearance, I think really makes the third act. I think it was such a badass place for you to be. And it really made the end of the story kind of like a really great ending. Because sometimes things will be good and they don't really know how to end it. You were perfect in that spot, and I had great feels from it, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
For sure. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, I like the movie a lot. I think there's levels to enjoy it on. One is a very straightforward kind of fun Christmas experience, and another one is a little bit more like, are you a dad now, Augustino?
I'm not, no.
Not. Are you a dad?
No.
We're big kids.
Yeah.
You've got, like, you guys are in your 30s at least, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's something for, as your family gets older and your structures change. Like the first movie's about a boy's heroic journey into becoming a young man. It's a coming of age story. Mm-hmm. And him separating himself from childish things in the sense of like the disillusionment of the Little Orphan Annie decoder ring, and it's a crummy commercial, right? Mm-hmm. And in the sequel, in A Christmas Story Christmas, he's stepping into the shoes of his father, mm-hmm. and there's a lot of family. He's becoming the patriarch of the family, and I'm not giving anything away, but that's something that happens to everyone in one shape or another, and it's painful, and it's sad, and it's beautiful, and it's always going to happen, and it'll happen. And over and over and over and over and over again, and there's a little bit more richness to that, as opposed to just Jingle All the Way or five. So I think that the movie actually plays on multiple levels, and I wonder if people will make it more of a tradition in the future, in the sense that it plays to an older audience's life changes. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I think you're 100% right. And yes, I remember watching it as a kid, and I related to the kid. I want this toy for Christmas, and my parents are always, you shoot your eye out, you can't get it. And so I related to the kid. And like now, even though I don't have kids, but I am the only son in my family, and a lot of the responsibilities of my parents falls on me. Like I decorate my mom's house. I go and I buy the tree, for myself and my mom's house. And so I now more relate to the father of decorating the tree, going out and buying it. And then, yes, you're right. In A Christmas Story Christmas, it is totally Ralphie, who is taking the place of his father. And I felt it. I think a lot of people can relate to it.
Yeah, made me tear up quite a bit, actually.
Yeah,
It's
that
a
was
good
really
story.
cool how they went with that with the audience too. Like, are you saying the audience over time they experienced that as a kid, but then is playing into that concept of growing up and being the one in charge of Christmas and such like a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
like
I
it's
think-
more than just like a classic movie. It's also like it's part of people's traditions.
It is.
Just watching this movie, and that's what's just so cool about it. And that's why people want to see a sequel, seeing the same people get back together again. That's
And
like why I
it's
thought it was so good that they brought everybody back. That was great.
And the people who grew up watching it as kids, who are now adults, are now going through the process that's happening in the second.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
their life now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's their life. So they go, oh, that's me. Holy shit! I was the kid. Now,
Yeah.
It's so perfect.
woo! And eventually, I'm going to be the old man. Holy crap! Like that's life. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway,
My oldest sister has 4 kids, and her Christmas Day tradition for like the past 18 years is watch A Christmas Story on Christmas Day and order Chinese food because they're eating Chinese food at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's literally her tradition, which I think it's really cool. But yeah, man, everybody, I highly recommend that you go and watch A Christmas Story Christmas. It's streaming right now exclusively on HBO Max.
I think it's on Apple, the Apple thing,
Apple TV.
Apple TV, so you can pay to watch
Oh, okay.
it.
Mhm.
Okay, so you can pay to watch on Apple TV, or if you subscribe to Apple TV or subscribe to HBO, you can watch it. And it's the holiday season. You can watch it. If you grew up watching A Christmas Story, definitely recommend it. And you can watch it with your kids. You can watch it with the whole family. It's great.
I'm watching it tomorrow night with my mom right over there,
Nice.
right in the TV room.
That's going to be great.
Excellent. So we got about 10 minutes before Zoom kicks us off. Really quickly, I know you do a lot of charities, as we spoke about in the beginning. You've done bullying awareness, just to sum it up in a couple of words, and then also currently you're for Alzheimer's. You raise money for Alzheimer's awareness. Is there anything you'd like to plug where people can go and donate and how they can help?
They can go to Alzheimer's Association. I think it's .org. They can go check that out. And if they go on my Instagram pages or my Twitter pages, there's links there. Look up the Alzheimer's Association.
Okay, great. I'll do that. Yeah, thank you for all your work that you do in that, man. Is there anything I can get involved with, please let me know. I mean, if I can host a charity comedy show where all the money would go to that would also be my pleasure. If there's something that you'd like to bring me in on, I'm totally down to do that.
That sounds great, brother. Thank you. That's a great idea. Love that.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to plug besides watch the movie, donate, or you have any other projects coming up?
I got a lot of stuff I'm working on, but not the right time to talk about it.
You got it.
I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a great one, guys.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas, Zach.
Zach, I appreciate your time, and I know you were busy today, and thanks for coming out and jumping online with us really quick.
Thank you
man.
for texting me. I had one of these moments of, yes. How do I do this?
You got it, man. Always a pleasure. And, I'm still probably very close to the neighborhood. If you ever want to go get a drink or something and or get some lunch. Oh, okay. Coffee, sushi.
He sounds great. He sounds good.
Okay. All right, great, man. I'll let you go get back to your night. Say hi to your wife
I will.
for me. And it's been a long time since I've seen her too. And have a Merry Christmas.
You got. All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, man.
There you go.
See you, man.
Go ahead and let him log off. All right, Kev. He's such a cool dude, man. I'm so glad we got him on. And I'm glad that you were here for it, Kev.
Well, yeah. I'm on vacation. I've been doing the same thing like every day, just hanging out with the family. So it's nice to see you.
Nice.
I feel bad we didn't get to hang out that much. And no, yeah, we did. We hung out. We
Right before you
recorded
left.
an episode like the day I left.
Yeah, so we have the Christmas episode of the Movie Stash that's also coming out this week, and then this is out this week. Yeah, they're both coming out this week, so this is great. So you get double the Kevin. So yeah, if you guys haven't been following around, go to my YouTube.
That's usually bad news.
What? You froze. What's bad news? I don't know. I can't hear you. You froze. So anyway, if you guys go to YouTube, my YouTube channel is Augustino Zoida, or Homeschooled Entertainment is my YouTube channel. That was weird. Kevin, are you back? Anyway, I don't know what happened to Kevin. Stupid Zoom just closed out for absolutely no reason and started again. And I didn't run out of time. I still had 7 minutes left. I don't know why it just closed on its own. Are you there now?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Anyway,
that was so weird.
Thanks, Zoom. More work for me to do to edit that shit out. Fuck it. I'll leave it in. It's Christmas.
Have fun. Yeah, it's Christmas.
Guys,
Ghost of Christmas Past coming at us.
YouTube and my Instagram at Augustino Zoida is where you can see the full episodes are on YouTube. You can watch the shorter clips on Instagram that have like fun graphics and stuff like that. Kevin and I co-host a show called The Movie Stash, where we discuss movies. It's a quick talk show, and at the end we'll rate them on a 1 to 10 scale. And at the end, we play movie trivia, and whoever wins that gets to choose the next movie that we force the other one to watch and discuss. It's a lot of fun. So we just did a Christmas episode, which is the draft. Kevin will draft 5. I'll draft 5, and we drafted Christmas movies. So that'll be out this week. Go check that out. It's called The Movie Stash, and that's it.
Non-traditional Christmas movies.
Yeah. So we had a draft conventional, non-traditional Christmas movies, and it couldn't have the word Christmas in the title or Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun, really interesting and funny, and that's it. You guys can go check that out. So Kevin has also a YouTube channel and an Instagram page that's Twin Pines Video.
Yep, at Twin Pines Video. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube, and I think Twitter. I don't know. I think I made one tweet once a while ago, but you can follow me on there, I guess.
Well, the Twin Pines Video, he puts out content that is you got useless movie knowledge, facts like that. You also post like art, VHS art.
I do a lot of digital art,
3D painting,
VHS photography. Yes, I do.
Stuff like that. Check it out, everybody. And I'm at Augustino Zoida, and that's it. So thank you guys. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on. It's been a long time since you've co-hosted a homeschool podcast, so I'm glad that the Christmas episode you were here.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, let me know about more, and I'll come back on.
All right, man. This was fun. We'll see you guys later. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Also, really quick, Phoenix, Arizona. I will see you guys this weekend. I'm there the 29th through the 31st, New Year's Eve weekend at the House of Comedy in Phoenix, Arizona. And you can get tickets on my website, homeschooledpod.com or augustinocomedian.com. Click on tour. Besides that, I got a whole bunch of 2023 tour dates. I'm coming to Paso Robles, Sacramento. I got New York dates. I got Canada dates. It's all on there. I got a whole tour for 2023 planned. So homeschooledpod.com or augustinocomedian.com. Click on tour. And this is Homeschool Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Kevin, thanks. And from all of us here at Homeschool Podcast, Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Homeschool Podcast. Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.
No, okay.
I don't want to do that at all.